Confusion, confusion, confusion in LSU against Ole Miss. Ole Miss looking to set a 4-game losing streak to LSU. Jordan Jefferson here in the fourth quarter is going to swing this pass complete to Stephen Ridley for a 7-yard loss. But check out the play clock. LSU does not call timeout. 27 seconds left. We're going to hear from Jesse in a moment on this. 9 seconds left. 4th and 26. Jefferson long bomb to Terrence Tolliver, the 6-yard line. 1 second left on the clock. Now check out Les Miles. Les Miles is saying spike it. Spike the ball. Spike it. Although later he would say he didn't know who called for it. Jefferson takes a snap. As the clock restarts, time runs out, and that's the end of the game. Ole Miss knocks off LSU, and Les Miles confused.
The only thing I can tell you at that point in time, it's what we needed to have happen is run an offensive play or kick a field goal, one of the two. And apparently, obviously he felt like I do not know who told him to clock it. Okay, I mean, and I'm listening to the headphones. You cannot clock that ball.
Someone should remind Les that we live in the age of television where cameras are everywhere. You can clearly see that he is calling for the spike right there. Field goal wins the game.
Clock management and game management really always falls on the head of the head coach. It was very poor late in this football game, wasting 17 seconds to call that final timeout and not having the field goal team ready to run onto the field after Terrence Tolliver catches the football to give themselves a chance to win the football game is the reason why LSU is 8-3 right now instead of being 9-2.
So it is a guy, a grown man, calling out his young starting quarterback, Jordan Jefferson, for not supposedly handling the situation correctly. He says he didn't know who called the play. He says that it was up to Jordan Jefferson to get that done. But then we see the videotape. He's clearly calling for that spike. What do you think about him calling out his young quarterback?
Well, obviously this was a situation we dissected ad nauseum on Saturday night after it happened without seeing some of this post in regards to him speaking upon it. I just have a real hard time with making a coaching decision on the sideline. You've got to swallow that pill, Les Miles. You've got to sit there and say, hey, that one's on me. We made the wrong decision. We did not put our players in position to win. I think coaching, you tell me if you disagree. You're going to coach these guys up from Sunday to Friday, and then the hay's in the barn. So what you've got to do is manage the game and put your kids in position to win. And I don't think that those two things took place at the end of that football game. And when they don't take place, regardless of whose fault it is, the man in charge, who the record goes next to their name, has got to own up to it and say, hey, I'm accountable.
You guys are brutal.
Oh, yeah. We're the media. You're one of us,
Call
too.
it what it is.
Well, you know, the situation that you know, most teams have, and I don't know whether Les had this or not, is every Thursday we always work on what we call whistle field goal, meaning that if there's 1 or 2 seconds left, you have no timeouts, and you do happen to make a first down, and you know the clock is going to start on the ready for play of the whistle, your field goal team runs out, your center gets down, and when he hears that whistle blow, he snaps it. Hopefully the holder's back there, but you make it very tough in practice. You do it every week, and that was the only scenario that would have worked there. The whistle field goal, try to get it off because you can't get a regular playoff.
Well, we're just being brutal on the guy because he's saying he's not calling for the clock, and he's clearly the one doing that.
I understand that.
Coach, also, too, when you're going to do the whistle field goal, that field goal unit, if I'm correct, is right there on the sideline, ready to go at the marker where you need the first down and hustle on the field. They didn't have a field goal unit ready to go. Not only that, they didn't have a second play to maybe call after coming off of a timeout. I can understand if you get the third down, you don't get the first down, you got fourth down and no timeout. Well, you've got limited choices.
And defending Les on this one thing, probably what they were saying was, okay, we're going to go throw it as far as we can, throw it deep in the end zone. You know, hopefully somebody catches it for a touchdown. They didn't realize he's going to catch it to the 6-7 yard line and didn't get the ball in the end zone. That's probably what happened on the sideline, but, you know, it didn't look very good.
They simply needed a field goal to win the game. At one point, they were in field goal range. On the very next play, a pass was called. Jordan Jefferson took a huge sack, getting them out of field goal range. They had to burn a timeout down that stretch. And bottom line, LSU loses this game to the Ole Miss Rebels, as it looks like the Rebels will secure the second spot. And Coach, who's it going to be?
Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. I like Oklahoma State with Zach Robinson coming back.
How is that an upset?
Well, because Oklahoma should beat Oklahoma State, but they've got too many injuries. Who you got?
I am going with Arkansas over LSU. Ryan Mallett, the first 3,000-yard passer the Razorbacks have ever had.
That's way to step out there.
Big Suey.
As we went to the Ole Miss game, we asked our team to do some things very specifically. We asked them to play as themselves, play as LSU, to find a piece of them and play with it. I felt like defensively they did that, minus about 3 plays. I felt like that defense was a pretty strong defense. They played better in the second half than they played in the first. Offensively, we had a quarterback with a hobbled foot, and we lost a tailback. Young wide receiver makes a couple of big plays. I felt like our offense gave us every opportunity to win. In teams, we block a field goal for a touchdown. We get a successful onside kick. Our punts and kicks, I thought our teams played very, very well. As a part of a process that we go through, we evaluate everything we do. We evaluate the players and the coaches and every decision that's made. I'm a part of that process. I'm no different than anybody in that room, that team room that I run. We look at ourselves very critically. Certainly, I mismanaged the back end of the Ole Miss game. It's my responsibility. I'm the head coach. I know I'm taking criticism, and so what I'm going to try to do is go through this kind of bit by bit for those of you that would need to listen. Starts with a missed 2-point conversion. I understand that we got to the 1.5. We talked about a couple of plays. At that point in time, we were missing 2 tight ends that were nicked. And so the opportunity to get the run that we wanted in the game was not quickly accessible. We felt like the advantage that we had at the wide receiver spot was still there. I like our quarterback. I like our wide receiver. I like the call. The onside team, I told every guy on that onside team that all we have to do is get this ball back, and we win with a 3-pointer. And so the mindset was right. JoJo makes a big play on the kick. He comes back, and we hit the flanker screen down to the 32-yard line. And it's that point in time that I anticipate us winning that game. I felt like we needed to be closer. Certainly a 49-yarders is a good kick for our guy, but the opportunity to move the ball certainly is what we needed to do. We discussed quickly, briefly, runs and passes. And frankly, the first pass is a deep ball that's one where we have great protection. We have a throwaway, and it also backs off the defense. The second pass is a very quick throw, and one where we ought to be able to bang it in there versus any coverage. And it's there we take the sack. I want to do better there. I want to do better there in strategy. I want to do better there in how we approach that position. I don't want to ever back up in a position where we're 1st and 10 at the 32. We're going to put ourselves in that position more often at practice. We're going to discuss more thoroughly that spot in the play call. I defend those calls. Those calls come with my name on them. And I want it better. And we will be better. So again, now at that point, as a head coach in review, that's where I want to win the game. I want to win the game right there, 1st and 10 at the 32. And now we're 4th down and 26, and it's a much different scenario. What I am doing, and the mistake that I make, is I go to the next play. And I'm talking about what's injured, what's not, who's on the field, the plays that need to be made, and trying to review quickly what needs to be and what needs to take place, 4th and 26. I let the clock get away from me. It's my fault. It's my mistake. I finally get the timeout called, and now it's a 9-second game. 4th and 4th and 26 with 9 seconds to play. I know by experience that it's not likely that we'll get 2 snaps. That in fact, if you get the first down, by the time you run the team down there, get on the ball snap it, it's not a likely scenario. And so we make the decision to go for the score. We throw the deepest ball that we can. Their defense makes a great call. It keeps our quarterback in the pocket. We had a nice roll to it. And our quarterback makes a great throw. Terrence Tolliver makes a great catch, and we come down at the 5-yard line or so. For us to get the next snap, it would have taken a tremendous position. Now, with 3 seconds on the clock, which is an initial view, it was different. With 3 seconds on the clock, you have the opportunity to spike it, and a number of things can take place. But with 1 second on the clock, the likelihood of getting the ball snapped was not good. So the initial decision at 9 seconds, certainly the mistake being made and squandering seconds, not in review at this time, but the view of the 9-second play just to get one play run and with the opportunity to win it was probably the right call. And now the next snap. We talk these are the 2 plays that we have practiced, and we practice them certainly every Thursday, certainly every week. And the 2 plays that we have called, one is a hurried field goal. It takes 12 seconds to get our personnel on the field. We do not have a chance to get that ball off. The other is to have a play called, and the mechanics of that play are this. The official walks onto the ball. As he walks away from the ball, the play clock is wound and the second goes off. Now, we reviewed this, now put in this position, how do we get a play snapped? I suggest it's very difficult. I suggest that with 1 second to go on the clock, that without question, more times than not, we will not get a snap. Now, the issue of clock it. Certainly there was every want to win that game, and in a position of now what, and wanting to get another snap, without a play call, because the opportunity that we had certainly was that we would try to score with the play that was called, now the 1 second, and to try to do something to come to the line of scrimmage and get that ball snapped with some positive result with 1 second to go was certainly what our greatest desire was. Again, without the field goal and without the second play called, and trying to get the team on the ball, what was relayed from the press box was there was a possibility of a 12th man on defense, and that if they could get the ball snapped in some way, that a defensive penalty might give us another opportunity at a snap. I reviewed it. It didn't appear to me. There was a substitution that took place there, not a 12 guys on the field. That was signaled down from that was verbally. It came from the press box to the sideline and signaled to the field. There was no, at that point in time, with 1 second to go on the clock, the opportunity for that team to win. I had lost that opportunity for the team there by squandering seconds. So we didn't get it off. If you look at the official play-by-play, we did not get that ball snapped. They don't list it as a snap. They list it as game ends at the 5-yard line. I saw, as a part of reference to come over here today, a YouTube video of me pointing at the ground. That was on the reception as soon as Tolliver caught the ball, the Ole Miss Rebel came up with the ball. That was the description of the coach trying to tell him it was down. It was down. With the clock it called made, at any point in time, if the quarterback is getting signaled clock it, I understand his decision. That's what he should do. The play signalers should also signal clock it. But I knew at that point that that was not the answer. And but certainly that may have been the best answer that we had, considering if there was 12 men on the field, then there would be a flag thrown. Now, I went through the possibility of the asking for 3 seconds to come back on the clock. At that point in time, the officials were running off the field. There was no chance. So, you know, we went through these situations very thoroughly as a staff, and I've learned, and I got to get it right. It's my fault. It will be fixed. It's my responsibility. I told my team Saturday, as we came in from Mississippi and we went to the team room, I told them again this morning that there is accountability in this room, in this team room. I hold them accountable, and I am accountable to them. I spoke to them very honestly about my mistake. I also spoke to them about the strength of a team, that a team is a group of men that are committed to each other and a want to succeed and to do all those things that they need to. And I have a great team. I have a great group of men, and it's a difficult time. And we're certainly going to have to do well and perform from this point forward. I regret the mistake. It cost my team a best opportunity at victory. In 48 hours, I've gone through the pain of this, and it's not something I enjoy. Certainly, my team feels as bad as I. But I'm done with Ole Miss, and I know you'll have some questions after, but I have got to turn my attention to Arkansas. They're a very talented football team. My team shows up at 3:15 today, and I do not have the luxury to review the call and review the situations yet again. I feel like the adjustment's been made. Certainly I understand the mistakes that were made, and we'll be better. But I have 24 seniors that will play in their final game in Tiger Stadium. I want to prepare a great game plan. I want to give them every opportunity at victory.
Did you see the turning of the page? It may have had kind of a script to go with there. And notice how some negative attention can completely turn around what a coach says. Remember before, when Les Miles talks about the Razorbacks, it's not Arkansas.
It's Arkansas.
It's Arkansas. Not doing that here. But break it down. If you are Jordan Jefferson and you're looking to the sideline and you see this, are you thinking it is he's down? He's down?
I mean, that's clock. It's like, you know, in baseball, it's like changing the signs. I mean, if you play baseball, this means put the bunt down. I mean, put the bunt down. And so this one in football, no matter what you do, the arm going down motion is clearly throw the ball on the ground. Throw the ball in the ground. That's what you look over to the sideline. You see it as a quarterback, Luke, from high school to college to pro, semi-pro. That does not change. That is a kill the ball, clock it, clock it.
Well, the problem is if he's doing that as he says he's doing it, but you're Jordan Jefferson and you're running down the sideline or down the middle of the field not knowing what to do, and that's the signal you see, what is your assumption going to be?
You know, it goes beyond this. I think what he's doing, as a quarterback, we know, down distance, we look over one time, we're taught to look that way, but it's the rest of the team that doesn't know. The offensive line, they're looking, coach, what are we doing? That's why the coach is running down there, clock it, telling the rest of the team, hurry up, get up there, get set so we can kill this ball. He just dropped the ball.
He did. And I'm very glad. I'm very happy, actually, to see Les Miles get in front of everybody and he did it with a lot of description and obviously a lot of reflection because he's had a couple of days now. But essentially, he did in more descriptive detail what he should have done on Saturday night, because I didn't really have an issue with him missing a call, making a poor game management decision. That happens in coaching. When you're on that sideline, you're not up in those stands, and you've got to make that call within 1/1000th of a second. It's not easy. But when you go in after the game and essentially deflect blame to your quarterback. That's where I took issue with the entire situation. And I think he sat back and realized that he should not have done that. I mean, I've played for Gary Crowton, the offensive coordinator at Georgia Tech. I know he's a good game manager. He doesn't have a history of these things. A bad thing happened. I get that. But it's how it was handled after the game immediately to a 19-year-old starting quarterback, and I really appreciate and like the things that Les Miles has done today because it's the right thing to do.
Well, he had to do it.
He had to.
Regardless if that is actually what happened or not, he had to say what he said, because imagine what we would be talking about if he did not address this point at all.
You know what's funny? I go back to, I remember when I played for Bill Parcells, and Parcells had this unwritten rule. He said, I will never give you up to the press. Never at all. He said, if anything goes wrong, I'm going to take the blame. Behind closed doors, we know who made the mistake. Yeah. I'll call everybody out. When I saw Les Miles do that, I said, he's given up the player. And I was really disappointed about that. And to come back now, you lost credibility with me.
And he gave up. He gave up somebody, regardless if it was him saying down or saying spike after the game. He called out somebody saying he didn't know where his quarterback got the signal from, didn't know who called for that play. So there is somebody out there that did something. That brings up the question, what is Les Miles and his role with this team as far as play calling, making decisions, if he doesn't still to this day know who was the one that called for this spike?
Well, they've got a graduate assistant on the sideline, as I understand it, that is signaling in the play. So that's one thing. And obviously that's a unique situation when you have an end-of-the-game experience like they just had. You've got Gary Crowton up in the box, the offensive coordinator, obviously working on the headsets with Les Miles, as Les Miles has acknowledged. So the question is the call coming from Gary Crowton a suggestion, a 1 or 2 or 3 play ideal situation that then Les Miles says, hey, that's the one I want to go with, then it's signaled in? The traffic is, I think, the question here is what didn't take place took place and how it went from whoever's signaling in the calls to the field. My real issue is the clock management is what got them into this situation. So you let 16 seconds go off the clock. That's
I
want to
know about those 16 seconds.
That's one
You're
thing.
right. Exactly
and he
right.
acknowledged
he took responsibility for that.
Poor management on the clock. I let the clock get away from me. That's one thing. What I don't understand, though, is when you got this situation where you're 4th and 26, and you have the clock stopped, you're on the sideline, you've got to be talking different scenarios. If you do convert, they did convert. Not only did they not have a field goal scenario in place, they didn't have a second play idea in place. And those two things, I think, are why he is taking so much heat. Is forget the clock for a second. When you did have the clock on your side with 9 seconds, you failed to give your team an opportunity.
The funny thing to think about in this situation, it may have been the best thing in the long run for LSU to never score that late touchdown, to never get the onside kick, to never originally get in position to attempt at some point the game-winning field goal, but yet they do that, and that starts the firestorm over Les Miles.
Crawford. These two teams get together and play for the Golden Boot, the biggest rivalry trophy in the United States, and they're going to be getting it on. David, how about this for a little bit of trivia? The first Mike the Tiger came from a Little Rock Zoo in 1938. So these two teams are entwined. And speaking of the big tiger now, the big cat in Little Rock and Fayetteville, it's got to be Ryan Mallett.
Oh, he's got to be. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. And, you know, you talk about his big arm and all the pretty throws he can make, but I mean, you just look where he ranks. SEC, number one. I mean, that's pretty impressive. 3,200 yards, 28 TDs, and he's only got 6 picks as much as he throws the rock. But you know what? Look at this is on the run. He's not the most nimble-footed, but look at that nice throw on the run. But the deep balls, it makes you cover every single piece of grass on the field, all the way outside the hash. That's a tough throw for anybody. And how about deep, way over the middle? He really can make all the throws, and he makes you just guard every single space on a football.
Didn't he call this kid out a few weeks ago?
I believe so. Well, yeah, it's kind of like.
I'm just saying, when you step up.
That's not the first time he's done that to a quarterback, at least on this show. Let's talk a little bit about Arkansas and what they do against the big boys. How about stepping up, Arkansas? Against real competition, you've had, what, 204 yards a game? No coincidence when you're not playing one of the big boys. 408 yards a game in offense. How about you step up and have one of those games against somebody that really counts? Hey, like, LSU?
Yeah, and it's going to be a huge one. Now, let's throw a little love to a player for Arkansas whose season and career has ended at Arkansas. Michael Smith gives a whole lot of thrills, that running back. Over 2,000 yards rushing in his career. A hamstring injury will shut him down. Michael, thanks for all the great things you did in the SEC. All right, guys, we're at the O'Charlie's table. You know what that means. It's time for
In the trenches.
The trenches. And the subject today, and it's not referees, we're going to do what we call last stand universals in honor of LSU, because we're going to talk about what happened against Ole Miss. These are things you have to do in order to win a game. Get good field position, guys. They got it done with an onside kick as they set up their last drive.
Oh, that was perfect. What execution.
Right spot, right time. A little bit of luck, but perfect.
Brandon LaFell. All right, the second thing you have to do, guys, do what you do best. All right? They decided not to run the football. What about the clock here for Jordan Jefferson?
Step up.
Yeah, don't blame that on number 70, Saron Black. He's got to step up in the pocket.
Pocket awareness.
All right, now you got to call good plays down the stretch. It's a screen pass, not a bad call, but maybe where it goes.
Well, how about a screen where you have more than two big heavy guys out on the outside?
And he did cut back in the field of play.
He needed to get out of bounds. Look at the clock down there at the lower left, 25 seconds. Because the next thing, guys, clock management. There's 25 seconds there, and they had a timeout.
Oh, please.
Now look at the Ole Miss sideline. Look at the clock.
What is he doing? Thank you.
It ticked all the way down to 9 seconds.
Let it run.
All right, last thing, guys. Like the Boy Scouts, you've got to be prepared. Why? They throw a Hail Mary from the 48-yard line down to the 6. They complete it. There's 1 second on the clock. Where's the field goal team?
Spike the ball. Spike the ball.
Plenty of time.
The game's it's going to run out.
Plenty of time.
Less.
And it did.
Every day before the game, every single day before the game, on any level, special teams, get out there, especially college and pros.
You work on this.
You are going, you're sprinting to the line, you get set up, the coach is there. What is it, David?
5, 4, 3,
and
2.
Remember,
run the field goal unit on, snap it.
And there was plenty of time from the time that ball was completed. You run out of the rest of that field goal unit. You got the line on the field anyway.
Yeah, and here's the other thing to remember, because it's college football. When they threw the Hail Mary on 4th and 26 and completed the pass down to the 6, what happens? It's a first down, right? So what happens in college
Clock
ball?
stops.
The clock stops to reset the chains, gives you a chance to run out there. Okay,
you need 10 or 12 seconds.
Yeah, you need that.
And they had that.
You have 2 plays called in the huddle, or you say field goal unit, huddle up,
ready to
we're going to kick a field goal if we get a first down.
So the big picture is, did they even expect to complete that pass?
No.
I don't think they thought. I think that the game was over, that they're going to have to score on that play.
That's probably the worst. No, that's the worst clock management, period, I've ever seen in college football.
The most egregious part of that, though, was the 25 seconds.
And then they let it go down.
I'm staring at the sideline, sideline staring at me.
Ole Miss coach is going.
And guess what? And guess what? We're out of time for this segment too, guys.
Well, I got plenty of time.
We're watching SEC Gridiron Live. We got to do clock management.
Clock management.
How will LSU respond after that debacle last weekend?
Every part of me thinks Arkansas is going to win this game. But then when you go back and you just look at these stats, yeah, I'm a butt. When you go back and look at the stats, you know what you see? Night games in Baton Rouge, they don't come in there and win. It doesn't happen. So I'm going to go with LSU strictly because of the night game stat. I think Arkansas's offense is 10 times better than LSU's.
And don't forget the stat from earlier. The numbers against real teams that Arkansas doesn't put up. I'm also going to go with LSU.
I'm going to go with LSU also. You talk about a week of embarrassment. They're upset. They're stung by what happened, and they are tired of losing to Arkansas. I'm going with LSU.
I thought you were going with Arkansas.
I guess I am now.
Well, Sean Burnett's going with Arkansas as well. He says.
Okay, I'll take Arkansas by a field goal.
There you go.
Well, perhaps those new shiny uniforms are just the incentive that LSU needs, because as you look at this game for the Battle of the Golden Boot, Matt, 2 teams headed in very different directions. Arkansas has won 4 straight, seem to be clicking on all cylinders. LSU, coming off of that loss at Ole Miss with the clock mismanagement at the end, a lot going on with the Tigers. How does Coach Miles rally the troops and shift some momentum their way for this important rivalry?
Maybe the uniforms are going to come in handy. They're going to have some new faces on their offense as well, new uniforms. Hey, everything's fresh this week, and you want to, because there's some streaks that Les Miles needs to end. He's lost 2 in a row to Houston Nutt. He lost last year versus Bobby Petrino in his inaugural year as a head coach at Arkansas. He's got to fix something. He's got to right this ship, and the question is, who's going to be in his backfield offensively? They've lost 3 tailbacks already this year. Murphy. Now you lost Keelan Williams for broken ankle. You lost Charles Scott a week ago. Who's going to carry the football? You got Jordan Jefferson, whose confidence has got to be a little bit shaky after what happened against Ole Miss. This team is really struggling.
Arkansas at 15th ranked LSU. Take your pick.
This is another tough one, but I think playing at night at home will help LSU in this game. Arkansas clearly has the best player in this game in Ryan Mallett. He'll put up some big points, but Arkansas's defense is the worst in the SEC. I think LSU will get back on track. Les Miles has done a good job of bouncing back from losses. I'll take LSU in a close game at night.
Arkansas at LSU. The Tigers secondary got to step up today. They're ranked 8th in the SEC, giving up 189 yards. And here comes Ryan Mallett, Arkansas's quarterback, #1 in the SEC. He'll be looking for wide receivers Greg Childs and Jurius Wright all day long. And I think that in this game, LSU may have a chance because when you look at Arkansas's defense, you got to look at Arkansas's defense. I know, but they're without their running backs, Keelan Williams, Charles Scott, come off a big loss to Ole Miss. But Arkansas's defense, dead last in the SEC in total defense, giving up 408 yards a game.
Yep.
But they can't stop Mallett. No, they lose. The Bayou Bengals lose today.
Yeah, but I tell you, Arkansas is 0-3 on the road. They lost to Florida, Alabama, and Ole Miss. Pretty good football teams. They go on the road, and it's at night, and it's at Baton Rouge, and not so fast. I know what you're thinking. I'm going with LSU.
Man, I don't, at home at night at LSU and Arkansas, I don't know how they're going to be able to hold up, but I think they will bring their quarterback with them. Ryan Mallett obviously having a big year. This game always seems to come down to the wire within a field goal, and I think it'll be much of the same. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think Mallett's able to put up points. LSU will put up points against that Arkansas defense, but I'm with Dez. I think Arkansas and Mallett get it done on the road. I think Arkansas wins it.
We'll see.
Well, poor old LSU at home there.
Yes, they never win.
But if you don't have passion and energy on defense, Mallett's the wrong quarterback to face.
And that
get
group
after
of receivers, they just keep adding depth. They've got about 5 or 6 guys.
We saw LSU at home in the night game, didn't we?
Yeah, but that was against these guys.
Okay.
That was against Florida.
Did you know that LSU is 7-8 in conference games since that 07 year when they won the national championship? This would drop them to 7-9 if they lose this. That's bad.
Can the Hogs engineer a third consecutive upset against LSU?
I don't know. I think third time's not going to be the charm this time. I got LSU in this game, and that's what I'm rolling with.
Amazing.
You with me again?
LSU again.
Be afraid
I'm against you again.
Oh, come on.
Arkansas, Ryan Mallett. I don't know how they stumble in there at night into Baton Rouge, but I like Arkansas to win this game.
Saturday night in Death Valley. Nice kick. It'll go to the end zone, and Johnson will let it go. Empty the backfield. Quick slant, got his man on the run and still going all the way out near midfield. Greg Childs.
We brought 2 tight ends and just went with 2 wide receivers. The little quick slant, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly.
Opening drive of the ball game. And there goes Johnson. Nice stiff arm, got the corner, 40. First down, not going to be slung out of bounds till he got inside the 30-yard line. So they lost Ole Miss, so that makes Ridley the man. Jefferson running out of time. Down he goes, tries to throw it at the last moment. I think they're going to say that Adrian Davis had him down. Safe play is Ridley. That's not going anywhere, though. Maybe got a couple. Meanwhile, third down and long for Jefferson. He rolls out to throw, and he's got pressure again, and he's going to get rid of this one. He learned from a week ago. Throw it away, don't take the sack. Even though this is early in the ball game, not in the final. Backfield again. Mallett with 4 wideouts on first down. Crossing pattern, completes it. Childs on the run. First down and a bunch more. And he stays in bounds. Finally knocked down as he got a field goal, 47-yarder. Kick on the way, and it is going to move right into the middle. Now comes up under center momentarily and backs into the gun. And maybe a yard. That's it for Russell Shepard. Talked about Trendon Holiday. Mallett scans the field, throws, complete. Nice catch. This game the last 4 years has been tight. The last 4 meetings, LSU won in 2005 by a couple. By 5 in 06. And then Arkansas turned the tables in 3 overtimes to win in 07 and last year 31-30. Right now, and Shepard in there, and he's just buried. He never got a head start.
But he loves it here, and he's He's become very, very comfortable as the defensive coordinator here for LSU.
They're down at 6. Here comes the extra pressure. Mallett fires. Nice catch. First down. Out at the 42-yard line. Jarius Wright. Wright not the tallest of the receivers.
Arkansas defense.
Now it's Jefferson who's going to keep it, and he's going to lose yardage. That was a pickup of conversions. Mallett right on his own goal line. From the end zone, Ryan fire. Oh! Incomplete. And Chad Jones, just credit, he hung in there. He didn't short arm anything, and he took that lick on an incomplete ball.
Yeah, 3-on-3, and the 3 in white got the better of that one.
Well, the 3 in white. Tristan Holiday, who already took 187 yards tonight. He's going to have another shot. Mishandled it, though, and Arkansas, if he touched it, they got it. And they do.
Yeah, he never really got close enough to it. And it did hit him. You could see the way the ball bounced. It looked like it hit his right hand. And, of course, he wasn't protesting that it did.
79 yards. Their last 22 snaps have netted them 28 yards. They got to get something going on offense. Joe Adams trying to do it. And still going. Joe Adams.
He gave the ball to Dennis Johnson, I think. This didn't look like football.
I know. Okay, that's Joe Adams, number 3.
Joe Adams on the one. He's going to hand it forward to Dennis Johnson right here.
They run into each other.
You take it, and you leave the scrum, and I'll try to keep the defenders here.
Wow. That's a zany one. We haven't seen that when you think about Muhammad Ali standing over Cassius Clay and some of those that you never forget once you've seen them. Trendon Holiday stopped for no gain, 2:42. Arkansas is going to have an opportunity here. Let's take a look at tonight's Good Hands Flashback, brought to you by Allstate. 7 years ago, Matt Jones hit Richard Smith for 50 and then trailing with 20 seconds left. Got it to Corey Birmingham in the corner of the end zone. Tying the game at 20. The fans rushed the field. The Hogs were penalized 15 yards. But on the extra point, David Carlton came through a 35-yard PAT, and the win was 21-20. Almost sacked again, and now he's just going to throw it. He completed it to Wright. He's got a first down. Wow. Jarius Wright, and a wicked throw back to the sideline. I actually thought he was trying to throw it away.
Yeah, I don't even know how he got this off. Great pressure again, right up the middle. Forced Mallett to lead the pocket. It looked like he was going to go down. I think he was.
This brings the heat again with the LSU defense. 3rd and 10. Mallett fires, knocked down. Beautiful play by Chris Hawkins.
Well, Hawkins is a senior working on a true freshman, Kobe Hamilton, and Hamilton tried to stop but didn't get his body positioned well enough to keep him between the ball and the defender.
I'll try to get his second of the night. And the kick on the way, and
good enough. They've made enough plays to have a nice lead going into the locker room.
Jefferson, he'll keep it. And the ball came out at the end, but he was down. They've got a halftime lead. They should be happy with that. LSU 17-6. Time for the Wendy's halftime report. Reese and the guys are standing by. So great starting field position for LSU, and it's Holiday on the pitch. Made one man miss, and only got about a yard before he's run out of bounds. Right now they have 114 of offense and 109 on punt returns. And now Jefferson looking for a place to dive forward and try to get something. And so far, they took great field position and turned it into nothing. So defense. 4 wideouts for Jefferson. Has pressure and throws in. Intercepted by the Hogs. Coming the other way. Jerry Franklin, the linebacker.
Intended receiver. Watch to the left. He's going to have Tolliver, number 80, open. And he threw it so far behind him that I think it almost surprised the defensive back, or the linebacker, Franklin.
Franklin's second interception of the season. And now the football is at the LSU. Wingo scoots on the left side, and he's got 9 down inside the 20.
Great.
Or Green, as Todd sets up the play action. Here's Wingo again. He follows his blockers. He's still on his feet, and he is in the end zone. Touchdown. Tough run by Ronnie Wingo. You talk about turning a Jefferson interception into a touchdown in a hurry. That's what Arkansas just did. 13 yards for Ronnie Wingo. Is the difference about where maybe these two teams are going to go bowling, whoever wins this game. LSU trying to get its 9th win Arkansas looking for their 8th. Holiday. Only a couple. Coming up, college basketball.
The majority of his incompletions high, sailing over the head of his receiver.
3rd down and 9. This one he throws on the money, and it's complete on the run to right, and he's got a 1st down. Talk about old stadiums that had crowns, remember?
Flat surface there.
Yeah, they got a brand new field down there. Mallett puts it up, and Childs goes and gets it. That one's just letting your wide receiver make a play.
Let him make a, put a little air under it and give your guy a chance to go make a play. A big, tall receiver at 6'3", and he goes up and fights for the football on Chris Hawkins.
29-yard pickup. And it's all the way down to the 19. Here's where that red zone offense of Arkansas
went on.
2 tight ends set Williams in motion. Here's Broderick Green. Touchdown.
Well, some guys just know how to find the end zone.
Don't they?
Broderick Green's one of those runners.
That's the 11th time he's found it this year.
Look at the fullback here. John Durman, the senior, is going to lead the way, and Broderick Green is just going to follow him and set up the last part of the block perfectly. He gets right behind him, and he waits to see how he's going to block the free safety, Chad Jones, and then walks right into the end zone.
Ball high and short. This time he kicks away. And after everybody creeped up expecting him to kick it the same way, he kicks it over their head. Nice job.
But they've got to regroup, and still an awful lot on the line. Obviously, a BCS bowl bid available to the winner of that game.
Oh, Stephen Ridley stood up as he got to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play as Arkansas's defense stiffens. 2nd down, 11. Here comes the heat. There goes Dennis Johnson. Broke a tackle. 1st down. And he's out of bounds.
Nice job by Dennis Johnson.
Allen on 1st down. Quick slant. Got his man at the 45. Childs. And a 1st down at the 40 of LSU. He really needs this one from 40 yards out to make it a 1-point game. Kick on the way. And he just tucked it in the right upright. Big time kick by Tejada. And it's 24-23. 2nd down and 6 for the Tigers. Jefferson on a counter to Ridley. Got 1 block, and then he got walloped at the line. On the ground, Ridley. And he runs into a whole bunch of Razorbacks.
3-man rush again.
Mallett throws a strike, and it's caught. Johnson's got it for a 1st down. At the 43, they go to the quick opening draw to Johnson. Another 1st down, this time on the ground. Down to the
at least 10 here.
Mallett steps up, throws on the run, and it's complete. And they did get it all. To the 30
up in the pocket. They've gotten pressure on him. They've made him readjust. He resets his feet and then makes a tough throw. He's
in the backfield with Mallett. Johnson picks up the pressure, and Mallett throws.
Oh, wow.
Incomplete as Joe Adams was leveled at the goal line. Both players trying to get up.
And
neither
there's a flag
able to
down,
so far.
too.
Personal foul, helmet-to-helmet contact.
Huge 1st down.
If he doesn't make the hit, it's a touchdown because it's a perfect throw by Mallett. Yeah, he did leave up there with the head.
15-yard penalty puts it at the 15.
They tried to go to DJ Williams on this drive, and he was not open for Ryan Mallett.
5 wideouts for Mallett. 4th and 9. Mallett throws to the end zone. Touchdown. And it's Joe Adams of all people. About 2 yards deeper where he almost almost lost his head. He just made the catch of the year for Arkansas.
And the interesting thing, Josh, here's Joe Adams. He's going to stop right here for the first down. And then when he sees the quarterback move, he adjusts and goes back into the end zone and catches a touchdown. Great job by Mallett buying extra time, and an even better job by Joe Adams adjusting to his quarterback on the move.
And he took another huge hit, but this time the helmet stays on, the hands stay around the ball, and it's touchdown Arkansas. And you see the reaction of number 15. And on the other side, Peterson with the Jordan Jefferson at the controls. On first down. In trouble in the pocket, and down he goes. He was sacked.
Yep.
On a second play of the drive last week. Now the clock started. 3 seconds goes off the clock as he swings it out of the backfield to Ridley. Ridley's trying to get to the sideline, and he got there. Boy, and he really had to work it, Todd, to get there.
Questionable whether he did.
From 41 to tie the game. Snap was a little bit high. The kick's on the way, and it's good. Session, the SEC on ESPN, a thrilling game in Baton Rouge. LSU on a field goal in the final seconds.
Arkansas won the toss and will defend this goal. LSU will put the ball in play on the 25.
So LSU, Jasper 15 out of 18 on the year. 3 for 3 tonight. Aaron?
Brad, it'll be interesting to see how the Arkansas offense responds. You know, during LSU's final drive of regulation, Arkansas's offense not so much celebrating, but giving a lot of hugs. Ryan Mallett even looked over at me and said, "I told you so." I don't know what he told me because I haven't talked to him all week. But, you know, as soon as LSU tied it up to send it into overtime, a lot of different reactions. It wasn't the same as everybody hugging each other and saying, "I told you so." So it'll be interesting to see how they respond.
Well, I'll tell you one thing LSU better be ready for, and that is right now, the first play, a shot to the end zone by Ryan Mallett. Would not surprise me if Bobby Petrino tried to win it with one play right here.
First down in overtime, the first snap for Arkansas. They trail by 3. 3 to send it to a second OT. A touchdown wins it. They lose 2 or 3. Big play by Drake. Blitz again. Mallett hit as he throws. Got it complete. And inside the 20 goes London Crawford. That's his first catch of the night, but it's a big one. 36. Can Tejada answer from the same distance? Kick on the way, and